Well, we made it interesting, and I actually told the guys before the game, knowing that Quincy Ballard was going to be out tonight, and we were going to have to play Joy at the 4 spot, and it's a spot that he hasn't really practiced much, but we need to find a way to give Corey some time and then give Ronnie a chance because he was going to have to play some backup five for us in that situation. So just trying to put pieces together given the current circumstances. We didn't know that Quincy wouldn't be able to go definitively until about 15 minutes before tip off, but we had a backup plan. And you're just going to have to find a way in some of these games. And I thought we played our best when our best was required. I thought Xavier did a phenomenal job down the stretch, and uncharacteristic of us. You go 11 of 21 in the first half from the free throw, and just not able to capitalize on those opportunities. We get out rebounded. We were a minus 10 at the half, and then 9 for 10 in the second half, and then we're able to do a much better job on the offensive glass. Keeping them off the offensive glass in the second half. So that's actually a really good win. Your team needs to know how to find some resolve when it matters, and I thought the crowd played a big part in that.
And Coach, what did it say about your team early that you guys go through the struggles of the first half? Ronnie obviously wasn't himself. Looked like he was hurting, no Quincy, and you got to find a way to get it done. And at home, and you guys were able to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's you shoot 33% there in the first half and just not able to be able to find anything, and then be able to shoot 56% in the second half. And again, you're going to have to win games like this. I mean, 2 for 15 from the 3 point line. You obviously like to capitalize, and just not shooting free throws well, not necessarily rebounding the basketball well. But we had zero again. I knew how good Jarrett Valencia was. And I mean, there's two players in college basketball who had his numbers as a freshman, Chet Holmgren and Wendell Carter. And both of those guys are in the league. So kind of had an idea about what he was going to be able to add and how much further along they were. But knowing that we were minus some pieces, and these were kind of game day decisions on how guys would be utilized, I thought we found a way.
Coach, a lot of frustrating foul calls in that second half. How do you guys kind of adjust and keep moving forward with that?
Well, you have to keep playing, right? I mean, nobody's feeling sorry for you, and nobody's actually changing a call. I've never seen a referee change one. You can disagree with one. I asked the officials, are we the only team fouling here? Because the foul count was just, especially when you're home. I thought in the first half it wasn't as if things got significantly different in regards to how the schematic both teams were. So you do. You got to move on. That plays over. You got to learn how to turn the page and find a way. And I thought our guys did that. There were some plays that Xavier's foul off of a baseline OB off of an inbound. There's some things we have to eliminate, but you also have to give. For instance, Cornelius Robinson some credit. I mean, him going 6 for 7 and be able to make the shots that he did, it's a tribute to them, and they were ready to play.
With Corey being be the one that closes out tonight, was that a point of emphasis? Is it just kind of how he found himself in the rhythm of the game?
Yeah, I thought he had some layup opportunities in the first half, and I thought overall our finishing just wasn't very good. Thought he had a layup opportunity in the second half. He changes sides with the ball. We end up with 5 turnovers from Corey. I mean, 60% of our buckets were assisted tonight, but and 15 to 10 assist to turnover ratio, 1 to 5 is admirable. But I thought there were some layup opportunities that we just didn't utilize fundamentals. So that wasn't by design. It was kind of get Harlan on the empty side and allow him to put some pressure on the rim. And I thought Harlan's dime to Corey kind of paid dividends. And to Corey's credit, he was ready to shoot as soon as he got it.
How impressive is that? That it's a game where not a lot of shots were going in, and for him to not hesitate, game tied, the last 2 minutes. What does that kind of speak to about his confidence? I guess.
I think it's exactly that. Like he's gonna keep playing. He loves the game of basketball. He's in here a lot. Spends a lot of time. The same thing can be said of a number of our guys. But watching Corey kind of progress. I mean, his freshman year at St. Peter's, he didn't shoot a three, and just kind of got a little bit better. but we shared with him that you're going to have to be able to, well, we use a term called catch to shoot. Like you've got to catch the ball thinking shot. And to his credit, again, he's got ball in there, feet in there. The second that ball hits his hands, he's loaded, gets it out. We had some shots earlier that were hitting the front of the rim, and sometimes is a guy squeezing and kind of thinking too hard about this rather than just staying in rhythm. And appreciate the fact Corey just stayed in rhythm and made some big plays for us.
What did you learn about this team, especially in a situation like tonight where you guys were definitely short a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know that I learned anything. I did know that we're a pretty confident bunch, and it's going to be required of us that a number of different guys, to give you an idea, AJ didn't get much in the way of minutes tonight, only ended up playing 8.5, but I thought AJ was instrumental at halftime. Just talking about to the team our lack of energy, not doing the things that we needed to defensively and fundamentally, and you can kind of see there in the second half he gathers everybody, and I thought the energy was much better in the second half than it was in the first, and it translated into field goal percentage and to some degree being able to get the ball where it needed to be from an execution standpoint.
And obviously, you like how it finishes with like the veteran finding the best when the best is required. But those first 38 minutes, is that a little disappointing with a veteran team to find themselves in a situation like that?
Yeah, I mean, I need to go back and look at the film, and I need to see. I thought we were getting really good shots. I know it was 9-5 at the end of the first media, but I thought our opportunities, I thought we had them. We just didn't finish them. Defensively, I'm going to have to go back and look. The 6-0 boards is, I mean, to only being able to retrieve 70% of the other team's misses is a little disconcerting. I think it was a lot more in the first half. I need to go back and watch the film as to why. I think a lot of it was perimeter box outs that we just didn't do a good job checking out. I thought we got caught up ball watching, but need to see, and we do need to be tougher.
I was curious. I mean, in a game like that, it just felt like okay, 4 minutes in, okay, like they'll wake up eventually, and then you look up and it's like it's still a tie game, or you guys are down. Did it feel like that way to you? Like you just kept looking up at like media timeout, just
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, there were situations there. Joy at the 4, Ronnie at the 5. Ronnie's hurt. We got to primarily play through Mate. You have a number of guys who aren't necessarily shooting the ball well, don't do a good job on some defensive assignments. So I thought some of it was just who was in the game. We need to kind of go back and look at some of the schematic things. We were leveling pretty early and up at the line of scrimmage on the ball screens, got some early deflections. They started short rolling. We backed off and started going into drop, especially there late. They had short rolls with 23 at the rim off the pass from 21. So some of it was just schematic that we need to change given the personnel. But to be honest with you, that's going to happen.
What did you see from Justin just in the term of trying to find a way to play winning basketball? The shots weren't falling, but I mean, he has the dump off the court, the kick out for the three as well, and it seems like he found ways to make winning plays when it wasn't going to happen for him shooting the ball.
Yeah, you've got to be able to do other things besides just score the basketball. You need to be able to be solid defensively. The one breakaway opportunity that he had there late that he ends up missing, you can't think in those situations, I'm going to get fouled. Like, you have to think finish. And some of it, we did look a little fatigued. We got after it pretty good on Saturday, and so some of that may be my fault. But as I shared with the guys, we got to win back-to-back games in Orlando. So fatigue, we're not going to use that as an excuse. But, I mean, if you look at the minutes of kind of the primary guys, I mean, you have 4 guys who play 30-plus, and then you have Xavier at 29. So, we shortened that rotation pretty quick. This is one of the things that happens a lot in tight games, but we need our depth back. So I think Quincy will be okay on Friday, but we'll see moving forward, and then we'll see what Ronnie's situation is.
What does it say about the DNA of this team to win in so many different ways? Win in shootouts, win in low-scoring games, win in blowouts, and win in close games. What does it say about like the winning DNA? of this team?
Yeah, it's important, and especially when you have an older group that's used to winning. I told the guys this in the locker room. Xavier Bell just cares about winning. That's a guy who wants to be a part of it, understands the tradition of Shocker basketball, and I thought he was really, really big. I mean, the only flaws that I saw were 2 defensive fouls, but I will tell you, we've got a group that way, and we kind of need to go back through the film and get a better idea. But we have to be a really good rebounding team, and I thought it was perimeter box outs more than anything. So I'll have to go back, but to your original question, we have a group that does care about winning. So we need to solve this as coaches in order to help them. But we have a group that's going to find a way more often than not.
When you look ahead at your season goals, how valuable is it now to have a game like this where you have to kind of grind and come back from behind?
Yeah, you need to be battle tested. I mean, you need to, the earlier you can get them. And I think with 3 home games in a row, and now we got 3 neutral court games in a row, these are why you play these games in November. We were going to grow from this game no matter what, but we could have been pretty disappointed about, allowing an 0-4 team to come into our gym and get their first win. So we're not going to lose sight of that reality, but we have to be a lot better. And some of that's just going to come through depth, but we need to be a lot sharper in some of the stuff that we're doing offensively and defensively.
For a guy like AJ who's not playing a lot, to be the one to get up and talk, what is that? You love that as a coach? I mean, what does that kind of say about his character?
Yeah, I mean, you can add value no matter what your role is, and we do this kind of going into the year that we needed somebody to talk at halftime, and we needed a player who wasn't going to waver in their commitment to identifying the things that the other team was doing well and the things that we needed to do better and needed to stop. And AJ was kind of a unanimous decision from our staff. Some players can kind of go with the ups and downs of a particular game. And hey, I may not want to talk. I'm not playing well. AJ's not that guy. And I know it's hard for a lot of players to hear, like, we're going to go with somebody else this particular game. But it doesn't change who he is and how committed he is to winning. There will be zero change in his approach tomorrow. And there will be games where he's going to be on the court and allow him to give us a chance to win it as well.
With Ronnie, was that just like what was the issue?
Looked like a hand injury. Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.